It's great to have you today. This is Barry Heads with Sharp Counsel, and we are in part five, the final part of our Thoughts on Character series. And of course, this series revolves around my book, Character, The Leader's Bloodline. And the book includes surveys, my own thoughts on leadership and personal character. And again, I've gotten the opportunity to sit down with wonderful people in the fields of law to politics to the nonprofit world to religious institution. I even got to speak with the chaplain of the United States Senate, Dr. Barry Black. I spoke with over a dozen individuals that gave great insights on leadership. I hope you go out and get the book. I'll rename the title once more, Character, The Leader's Bloodline. But before we end this series in part five, I wanted to go over one of the final pieces of information in this book. And what I learned from surveying hundreds of people to interviewing nationally known leaders, I pulled together several things that I started to see. How could I say this? I saw these things flash on my screen repeatedly. They just flash on my screen repeatedly. So I jotted these down and I call them traits great leaders have in common. This is actually in the book. I collected maybe 20 different traits that I saw that were pretty important in leadership from the phenomenal people I got to sit down and interview. I won't go over all 20 today. I'll go over 10. So you'll get 50% of the traits great leaders have in common. And when I read this from time to time, this list of 20 different traits, I sort of, I wouldn't say compare myself to it, but in some ways I do. Because I know I saw this repeatedly from these individuals who did great in their careers, have done great things in service for other people. So I'll read off 10 of the 20 to you. Let's start with number one. The first people to shape a leader's character are their parents. That's what I consistently saw. Number two, refrain from trading your morality for an advancement in your career. That's what great leaders do. They refrain from trading their morality for an advancement in their careers. Next, great leaders enjoy challenges and set high goals. Next, celebrated leaders take their job or leadership position to help and serve the public. The next trait I want to talk about, leaders don't panic in a crisis. They think their way out of it. Here's the next one. Leaders try to make other people on their team look good. It's not all about me. It's not pride. It's other people. We have a few more left. Leaders seek to connect. They bring people with various goals. They bring people with various goals from different environments together for the greater good. Three more left. I saw this, and this was consistent. Prayer or a spiritual practice is a daily practice that builds moral character. Number 9, a large portion of leaders interviewed for my book believe that their greatest achievement was still ahead of them. And last but not least, all of the leaders I spoke to, all of them were rather joyful when I talked about reading. Whenever I asked them what they were reading, they sort of lit up. Their faces, their voices, they seemed like ferocious readers. So those are a few things I wanted to leave with you. That's the end of our series. I hope I left something, some piece of wisdom, some piece of knowledge with you. And go get the book when you have time. Character, The Leader's Bloodline. Thanks so much and have a great day.